Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And this was Monday Night Raw's Fallout show from Elimination Chamber, which I did not watch Elimination Chamber, but I heard it was a very good show. I was working late on Saturday night, so I couldn't get a chance to watch it. I did watch SmackDown, but did not review it. I was too tired from work. And then I did not check out AEW Rampage, but saw the results. But Monday Night Raw tonight, this show sucked, in my opinion. This show was awful. Nothing happened on this show tonight except for, Sami Zayn's promo and also Austin Theory versus Edge for the United States Championship. I mean, look what we got on Monday Night Raw tonight. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Yeah, like I gave a shit. Mustafa Ali versus Dolph Ziggler. Another match that I'm like, oh, did I give a shit? Asuka versus Nikki Cross. Seth Rollins versus The Miz. Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable. And the main event, it was Austin Theory versus Edge for the United States Championship. Austin Theory put out an open challenge, and Edge ended up accepting it. So this was all during the Elimination Chamber, conference. But overall, Monday Night Raw, terrible show it was tonight, in my opinion. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up coming out. He came out to his old NXT theme, which returned on SmackDown on Friday, which that got a huge ovation from the crowd. Possibly one of the best ovations, Sami Zayn got. And one of the best ovations in WWE in a long while. That ovation made Sami get all emotional. And of course, he faced Roman Reigns Saturday night at Elimination Chamber, which obviously he ended up losing the match. But Sami Zayn came out. He made his way down to the ring, got a big ovation from the fans there in Ottawa. So the crowd was singing along to his theme music. Sami got into the ring. He stood there, and he was taking in the chants from the fans, and the fans were singing "Ole, ole, 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 ole." So the crowd started chanting Sami. He ended up waving to the crowd. Sami Zayn looked very emotional, and he got on the mic. He kept saying, wow. Like he was, ecstatic at the ovation that he was getting from the crowd. So we had another Sami chant end up picking up from the crowd. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he's feeling a lot of feelings here. He ended up saying after these past couple of days, the one feeling that comes to the front more than anything is gratitude. He ended up saying that the ovation he's been given over the last few days and the one that he received now means so much to him, and that they have no idea how much. So the crowd started chanting to Sami, "You deserve it." So Sami ended up saying, for him as much as anybody, another thing he's feeling is guilt after nearly putting a storybook ending on this. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that he feels like he let a lot of people down. He ended up saying that everyone told him to finish the story. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that he feels like he did it. But after the last few days and after hearing this, Sami Zayn ended up saying that the story is never over. He ended up saying, however, they are entering the final chapter. and that the final chapter is not just about him. Sami Zayn ended up saying that there's one person that he needs to talk to tonight, more than anyone else. So Sami Zayn then called out Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up coming out. Kevin Owens got a good ovation there. Of course, obviously, both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are from Canada. Kevin Owens ended up having his head down, and Sami Zayn ended up saying that he has so much to say. But now that Owens is here, he doesn't know what to say. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that he wants to thank Kevin Owens, and he ended up apologizing to him. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he knows they're way past words, and that things got messy, and things have been done that there might be no coming back from. So Kevin Owens got on the mic. He ended up saying that he has said for months that he only cares about taking down the bloodline. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he knows Kevin Owens, that when he has something in his head, nothing will stop him. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he has a mission, and that he will not rest until the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and the bloodline come crumbling down. And we had Sami Zayn end up saying that there is only one way to get it done, and that is together. So Kevin Owens then walked around, started thinking about it. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he doesn't need an apology or gratitude from Sami Zayn, and that Saturday had nothing to do with him. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he did it for his family, and that Saturday they were in the front row. And he ended up telling Sami Zayn that at the Royal Rumble, they had to watch him get the hell beat out of him from home, while Sami Zayn just stood by and watched. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that he did it for Sami Zayn, as well as his family. He did it for Sami's wife. He did it for Sami's father, his son. So he didn't have to watch him get the hell beat out of him as his family did, as Kevin Owens' family did. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that he has been fighting the bloodline for months on his own. He ended up saying that as far as he's concerned, that's fine, and he'll keep doing that. Owens ended up saying that he still means everything he said in November after Survivor Series. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that he told Sami Zayn that he was done with him, and that he meant it. He ended up saying that if Sami Zayn needs help, he can ask his buddy, Jey Uso. So Kevin Owens ended up walking off on Sami Zayn, and pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But I thought this was a good segment to open Monday Night Raw. Really enjoyed the segment with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn taking in the ovation from the crowd there, and the crowd singing, to his song, and the ole, 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 ole. And, Kevin Owens coming out there. This is leading up to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn teaming up to take on the Usos, which that's probably going to be the match at WrestleMania, where the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship is going to be on the line. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they might take the titles off the Usos come WrestleMania. So I think we'll see at WrestleMania the bloodline crumbling. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn might win the titles at WrestleMania, and then who knows? We might see Cody defeat Roman, and Cody takes the titles. So that's how the way it's going to go. That's how I see the way WWE is going with this. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, at WrestleMania, Cody's going to take the titles from Roman. He's going to want to defeat Roman. But who knows? WWE could make Roman defeat Cody, and Roman could still hold the titles, could still retain the titles. But that's how the way I see it going. But overall, good opening to Monday Night Raw here with Sami Zayn. So then we had Sami Zayn waving to the crowd, and all of a sudden he got attacked from behind by Baron Corbin, and immediately it went to commercial, and which I laughed at because nobody wants to see Baron Corbin on TV. So during the picture-in-picture, Corbin was just attacking Sami Zayn on the ramp and just bouncing him off the guardrails. We had referees and officials end up running out to separate the both of them. So Corbin ended up sending Sami Zayn into the LED wall. Corbin then walked down to the ring. Sami Zayn was being helped up by refs and officials. And then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Corbin got on the mic. He was asking Sami Zayn how that felt. He ended up saying that last week, Sami Zayn interrupted his segment, and that Sami Zayn didn't deserve to be in the ring with the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He ended up saying that he does belong because he was the last person to beat Reigns. Corbin ended up saying that Reigns destroyed Sami Zayn in front of his family and friends, and that was pathetic. So Sami Zayn was being held back by officials, and Corbin ended up saying that Sami Zayn's story is over. So he ended up saying that Sami Zayn is a complete and utter failure. So Adam Pearce ended up stepping aside. He allowed Sami Zayn to charge to the ring. Sami Zayn then ran to the ring. He speared Corbin down. Zayn started wildly punching away at Corbin, and he clotheslined Corbin over the top rope. So then the referee was in the ring. Sami Zayn ended up agreeing to a match, and so we had the match get underway. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Did not care for this. This was boring. So the match ended up started. Sami Zayn knocked Corbin off the apron. Sami Zayn bounced Corbin off the commentary table. He ended up driving him headfirst into the LED post. Corbin ended up getting in the ring, and he stumbled to the corner. Sami Zayn was sent up for the haluva kick, and Corbin ended up quickly going to the apron and shouldered Sami Zayn. Corbin took Sami Zayn down, started punching away at him. Corbin then ripped Sami Zayn's shirt off. So Corbin ended up attacking Sami Zayn's back, which was injured because Sami Zayn's back was still bruised from chair shots that were delivered from the tribal chief at Elimination Chamber. So Sami Zayn ended up trying to fight back. Corbin ended up blocking Sami Zayn, ended up knocking him back. Sami Zayn ended up coming back, delivered some punches to Corbin. Corbin ended up reversing a whip to the corner. Sami Zayn sidestepped Corbin, and he ended up coming off the second rope. Corbin ended up catching him, and Corbin delivered a chokeslam backbreaker to Sami Zayn. He ended up going for the cover. Sami Zayn kicked out. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Corbin was in control of the match. Corbin ended up applying a torture rack on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up fighting out of that. He ended up sliding down to the mat. Sami Zayn then elbowed Corbin and booed him back. He ended up going up to the second rope. He delivered a diving elbow to Corbin's face. Sami Zayn ended up going back to the second rope, ended up hitting another elbow to Corbin. So Corbin quickly cut Sami Zayn off. Sami Zayn ended up grabbing Corbin's wrist. He ended up climbing the ropes, and he ended up hitting a springboard tornado DDT onto Corbin. So Sami Zayn ended up going for the cover. Corbin ended up kicking out. So we had Sami Zayn later on. He ended up charging for a haluva kick. Corbin ended up turning Sami Zayn inside out with a clothesline. Corbin then started clubbing away at Sami Zayn's back. Corbin ended up sending Sami Zayn to the ropes, and he caught him with the deep six. So Corbin ended up going for the cover, and Sami Zayn ended up kicking out. Sami then pulled himself up in the corner. Corbin ended up catching Sami Zayn with two avalanches. Corbin then retreated to the opposite corner for a third avalanche, but Sami Zayn ended up following him, and he hit the haluva kick to Corbin. So Sami Zayn ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Sami Zayn ended up winning the match. Overall, boring match, in my opinion. Did not even care for this. And Corbin has go away heat. Nobody wants to see Corbin on TV. And then we had Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton was interviewing both Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. So we had Byron Saxton end up asking Rhea Ripley and Dominic about the Judgment Day coming up short against Edge and Beth Phoenix. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that after they went toe-to-toe, Beth Phoenix said that Rhea Ripley is the real deal. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that they have unfinished business, but she's fully focused now on WrestleMania. So Byron Saxton ended up going to ask a follow-up question to Rhea Ripley, but Dominic ended up cutting Byron Saxton off. Dom ended up saying that Edge and Beth Phoenix are has-been, like his deadbeat dad, and that they're not worth talking about. So Dom ended up warning Byron Saxton that if he asks stupid questions, he'll find out what he did to people he was locked up with who talk too much. So then Byron Saxton ended up saying that they can talk about Charlotte Flair. And how did Rhea Ripley respond to Charlotte, saying that she taught Rhea Ripley a lesson 3 years ago, and this time she will put her in her place. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that Charlotte can keep living in 2020. And that the only reason Charlotte talks about 3 years ago is that she refuses to believe what everyone else can see. So she ended up saying that in the present, she is the best bloody woman in WWE. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that. And she ended up saying, as for lessons being learned, the only lesson is that she doesn't make the same mistake twice. So Rhea ended up saying that if Charlotte wants to put her in her place at WrestleMania, then good. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that her place is standing on Charlotte's crumbled queendom as SmackDown Women's Champion. So Byron Saxton ended up asking what they can expect on Friday, because Rhea Ripley is going to go face-to-face with Charlotte. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that we'll have to wait to find out. So Dom was like, oh, I think my dad has a match that night, so he's going to tag along. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that's a good idea. And pretty much that was basically that. But overall, this was just a very meh interview with Rhea Ripley and Dom. So, but Dom is going to be there on Friday night. Probably going to cause something in his father's match. So, and then Rhea Ripley is going to go face-to-face with Charlotte. So, but Rhea Ripley, she has to win the title at WrestleMania. So, I don't want to see Charlotte retain the title at WrestleMania. This is Rhea Ripley's time. So now we saw replays being shown of Logan Paul interfering in the Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship, where he ended up attacking Seth Rollins with a lariat and then a stomp, to which, of course, Austin Theory ended up retaining the title, ended up retaining the United States Championship on Saturday night. So this is probably going to set up Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. God. Not looking forward to that. So then, at the press conference, they showed, Austin Theory making an open challenge for the United States Championship, and then Edge ended up accepting the challenge. So he had the match tonight, which of course was the main event. So then after that, we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was interviewing Austin Theory. Kathy Kelly ended up asking Austin Theory how he feels about heading into a match against Edge after just winning the Elimination Chamber. Austin Theory ended up saying that he's the champ. And on Saturday, he defeated 5 other superstars inside the Elimination Chamber. And he ended up saying that everything he says happens. So Theory ended up saying that what bothers him is the headline. And that it should be about him. But instead, it says John Cena is coming back to Raw in 2 weeks. So Austin Theory was like, where's the respect for him? He ended up saying that tonight he'll defeat a Hall of Famer in Edge in his home country of crappy Canada. So Austin Theory ended up saying that he will never lose the United States Championship. So pretty much that was basically that. So it looks like at WrestleMania, what they're setting this up to be, probably going to have Austin Theory versus John Cena at WrestleMania. You know, Austin Theory has been making, reference to John Cena where when he comes out, he's like, the champ is here. And then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Mustafa Ali. Yeah, like I cared about this match. So Dolph Ziggler ended up coming out first, and then Mustafa Ali. So the match started with Mustafa Ali ended up grabbing Dolph Ziggler's hand. He ended up forcing him to shake his hand. Dolph ended up taking Mustafa Ali down, started hitting some punches at him. Dolph ended up connecting with a neck breaker, and he sized Mustafa Ali up. Ali ended up quickly getting out of the ring to avoid a super kick from Dolph. Dolph then pulled Mustafa Ali to the apron. Mustafa Ali ended up snapping Dolph off top rope, and he ended up attacking Dolph in the ring. Mustafa Ali ended up ripping at Dolph's face, and he was going for a suplex, but Dolph ended up sliding out of that. Mustafa Ali ended up avoiding a splash in the corner from Dolph. He ended up kicking Dolph in the face. Mustafa Ali ended up slingshotting into the ring, and Dolph ended up catching him with a spiked DDT, and Dolph ended up going for the cover. Mustafa Ali ended up kicking out. So Dolph ended up kicking Mustafa Ali in his midsection. He ended up going for the Famouser, but Mustafa Ali ended up countering that by doing a handstand, and he rolled Dolph up. And so there you go. Mustafa Ali ended up winning the match. Wow, Mustafa Ali won a match in how long? I can't even remember. And then post-match, Mustafa Ali goes around and he's getting all excited about winning the match. He's like, I won the match. Yeah, he's getting all excited about winning the match in how long? But overall, didn't even care for the match. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage. She was interviewing The Miz and Maurice. Miz was kissing his wife. And Maurice ended up quickly returning with a golden envelope that she gave to her husband. So The Miz looked shocked. He ended up saying that he'll reveal what is inside the golden envelope next week. He ended up saying that this is almost as big as his half-court shot at the Celebrity All-Star Game. So Kathy Kelly reminded The Miz that it didn't count. So then she ended up asking Miz about his matches with Rick Boogs. Miz ended up saying that they are controversial. So he ended up saying that he is happy that his former protege, Logan Paul, took out Seth Rollins. So pretty much that was that. But what this golden envelope could be, and I hope this is not the case, my guess is The Miz is going to be the host of WrestleMania this year. And that's what's in the golden envelope. If that is the case, holy shit. We are in for a long WrestleMania with him as the host, if he is. So then we had Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes ended up making his way down to the ring. So the crowd started chanting Cody to him. So Cody was going to speak, but he got interrupted by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was like, "Ladies and gentlemen." And then he appeared on the screen in a neck brace holding the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So Cody ended up asking Paul Heyman where he is, to which Heyman ended up saying that he's backstage. So Cody ended up inviting Paul Heyman into the ring. So Paul Heyman ended up saying that he isn't sure if Cody is aware of this, but he was mauled by a KO tack and has been victimized by the Canadian healthcare system. He ended up saying what should have been a celebratory weekend for the tribal chief wound up being a tragedy for the wise man in himself. He ended up saying, however, the true tragedy of the story that Cody wants to finish will befall upon him. So Paul Heyman ended up asking Cody to hear him out. Paul Heyman ended up saying that Cody cannot beat the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So the crowd started booing Paul Heyman. He was like, "Oh, the crowd can boo all they want, but let's go on the hypothetical and play to the fantasy." He was like, "Let's say the gods smile upon Cody, and the devil collects his debt, Paul Heyman's debt." So Paul Heyman was like, "Let's say Cody beats Reigns for the title. What will his life be like? Has he ever heard the phrase indentured servitude?" He ended up saying that people think that isn't the life of the tribal chief. He ended up saying that Reigns has special counsel, and Reigns has him. So Paul Heyman ended up saying that if Cody beats Reigns for the title, he won't have Paul Heyman with him. So Paul Heyman was like, what will Cody's life be like? 200 days on the road, defend the titles. After 50 days of charity events, now we're at 250. Another 30 days of overseas tours. Another 20 to 25 days of promotional events. And that leaves about 60 days of Zoom and Skype calls for more. Paul Heyman was like, even when Cody's home, he'll never be home. Just like his father, Dusty. So Paul Heyman was like, oh, is that the sacrifice you're willing to make for these titles? Is Cody willing to sacrifice his family? So we had Paul Heyman end up saying that Cody will find out that his WrestleMania dreams will become his own personal nightmare. So Paul Heyman then took his mic clip off and he threw it down. Cody was seething in anger in the ring. He started pacing around. Cody ended up saying that Roman Reigns is great, but he has seen this play before. Cody was like, do not sin this man again, and that they haven't come face to face yet. Cody ended up saying that he will say the same thing now as he will then. He ended up saying that Reigns is without a doubt the greatest undisputed WWE Universal Champion and the best champion in sports entertainment. But that doesn't change anything. Cody ended up saying that he has to finish the story and beat Reigns at WrestleMania. So pretty much that was basically that. Overall, this was an okay segment here between Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman. And then we had Asuka versus Nikki Cross. This was just a very meh match here. So, before the match got underway, we had Bianca Belair end up coming out to ringside. So Nikki Cross took Asuka down, started clubbing away at her. Asuka ended up shoving Cross off. Cross ended up chopping away at Asuka. Asuka ended up avoiding a running cross body, and she ended up hitting a sliding knee to Cross. Asuka then started kneeing away at Cross. Cross ended up putting Asuka on the apron. Asuka ended up viciously kicking away at Cross's chest and pulled her to the apron. Cross ended up shoving Asuka off, but Asuka ended up kneeing Cross in the face. Asuka ended up going for a kick, but she ended up hitting the ring post because Nikki Cross ended up moving out of the way. Nikki Cross then ended up hitting a reverse DDT on the apron to Asuka. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, both women were down. Asuka ended up getting to her feet. She ended up hitting Nikki Cross with a vicious strike combination. Asuka then ended up hitting a pair of kicks to Nikki Cross's head, which she followed up with a German suplex. Asuka ended up following up with 2 more German suplexes, and she ended up bridging for a near fall because Nikki Cross, of course, kicked out. Nikki Cross rolled to the apron to recover. Asuka ended up going for a baseball slide, and Nikki Cross ended up pulling the apron out, and she started beating Asuka down. Nikki Cross ended up going to the top rope. Asuka ended up cutting Cross off. So Asuka then ended up hitting a DDT off the second rope to Nikki Cross. So Asuka ended up going for the cover, and Nikki ended up kicking out. Asuka ended up getting to her feet, and Nikki Cross ended up getting kicked in her chest by Asuka a few times. Nikki Cross ended up ducking a kick from Asuka. She lifted Asuka up, but Asuka ended up sliding off. Asuka ended up kicking Nikki Cross in the head. She ended up going for the Asuka lock, to which Cross countered that into a Michinoku driver, and then Asuka ended up kicking out. Asuka applied the Asuka lock again, and there you go. Asuka ended up winning the match. Post-match, Bianca Belair got into the ring. She faced off with Asuka. Bianca then pointed to the WrestleMania sign, of course, because it's WrestleMania sign pointing season. So Asuka looked like she was going to throw up, and she spit out a blue liquid. So Bianca ended up looking frightened about that. So pretty much that was that. Overall, very meh match. So then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Carmela. She ended up asking Carmela about her plans for WrestleMania. Carmela ended up saying that she hasn't come up with a new game plan in 48 hours. She ended up saying that she'll deliver a hell of a receipt to Asuka because Mela is money. So she ended up walking off. And then Kathy Kelly ended up seeing Seth Rollins. She ended up asking Rollins for a comment on Logan Paul. So Rollins ended up saying that Logan Paul has now ruined his WrestleMania plans twice, even hitting him with his own move. So he ended up saying that the joke is on Logan Paul. He ended up saying that Logan Paul may not be familiar with a certain side of him, but anyone who has gotten in his way knows that side all too well. So Rollins ended up saying that he will find Logan Paul and hurt him. So he ended up saying that since Logan Paul isn't here tonight, the man who wants to take credit for all of Logan Paul's success, The Miz, seems like a perfect surrogate for suffering. So Rollins ended up crackling, and he ended up walking off. So pretty much that was that. I mean, do I care? No. So then we went backstage, and we saw MVP. MVP ended up calling Brock Lesnar a coward. He ended up saying that Lesnar couldn't escape the Hurt Lock and got himself disqualified because Lesnar ended up kicking Bobby Lashley, low blowing him at Elimination Chamber, to which we saw a replay of. So Omos was shown standing next to MVP. So MVP ended up saying that Omos wants to challenge Brock Lesnar to a match at WrestleMania. So MVP ended up telling Lesnar to show up next week to accept the challenge if he has the intestinal fortitude. So Omos looked into the camera and he was just like, and that was that. Really? We're going to get this match at WrestleMania? Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, thank you for letting me know when to take my bathroom break at, when that match happens at WrestleMania. Thank you. God, I can't believe we're going to get this fucking match. Awful. Absolutely awful. And then we had The Miz versus Seth Rollins, which this was a decent match. This was not bad of a match here. So the match started. Rollins immediately took The Miz down. Rollins started viciously punching and stomping away at Miz in the corner. So the ref ended up pulling Rollins back, and then Miz ended up rolling out of the ring to recover. Rollins ended up following Miz out of the ring. Miz ended up kicking him, but Rollins ended up quickly bouncing Miz off the commentary table, and he sent Miz into the barricade. Rollins ended up putting Miz back into the ring, started stomping Miz's back. He ended up ripping at the Miz's face. Rollins ended up waiting for Miz to get to his feet, and he clotheslined Miz over the top rope. Rollins ended up hitting a slingshot baseball slide, which sent Miz over the commentary table. Rollins then ended up chasing Miz into the ring. Miz quickly ended up kicking Rollins, and he ended up hitting a kneeling DDT on Rollins. So he ended up going for the cover, and Rollins kicked out. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Rollins was in control of the match. He was fighting back against Miz. Miz quickly ended up reversing the whip into the corner. Rollins ended up hitting the turnbuckles. Miz ended up kicking away at Rollins' chest. Miz backed up, and he ended up charging at Rollins. Rollins exploded out of the corner with a clothesline to the Miz. Rollins ended up getting to his feet. He started viciously punching away at Miz. Rollins then ended up hitting a pair of clotheslines to Miz, and then he delivered a kick and a lariat. Rollins ended up going for a suplex, but Miz ended up sliding out of that, and he rolled Rollins up. Rollins ended up kicking out. So Rollins then ended up hitting a kick to the Miz. Rollins ended up setting up in the corner to deliver a stomp to the Miz, but Miz ended up avoiding it. Rollins instead tried to hit a pedigree, but Miz ended up countering that into a jackknife pin. So they were trading pin attempts. Rollins ended up going to the second rope. Miz ended up kicking his feet out, and he had pinned a lung blow on Rollins, to which Miz ended up going for the cover, and Rollins kicked out. So Miz ended up sizing Rollins up for the skull crushing finale. Rollins ended up getting out of that. Miz flipped through a back suplex, ended up hitting a Busaku knee onto Rollins. Miz ended up going for the cover. Rollins kicked out. So Miz started talking trash. He ended up backing up for a big kick to the head. Rollins ended up blocking the kick, and he ended up hitting a discus forearm to the Miz's mouth. Rollins then forearmed Miz in the face a few more times, and he ended up elbowing Miz in the back of his head. So Rollins ended up hitting a stomp. So the crowd started chanting one more time. So we had Rollins ended up hitting Miz with a second stomp. So Rollins didn't even go for the cover. The crowd wanted Rollins to hit another stomp. So we had Rollins seeming to agree before hitting a third stomp. So then the ref ended up calling for the bell. So Seth Rollins won the match by referee stoppage. So pretty much that was that. Overall, this was a decent match here. Not bad. And then we saw Carmela. Carmela was walking backstage with Adam Pearce. Pearce ended up making it official that Carmela will face Asuka next week. So Carmela ended up thanking Pearce, and she walked off. Great, we're going to get Carmela versus Asuka next week. Whoopee! So Adam Pearce's phone then ended up ringing. And on the phone was Chelsea Green. So Adam Pearce looked upset. And Chelsea Green was upset with being sent to Ottawa, Illinois, instead of Canada. So Chelsea Green was like to Pierce, "Oh, how are you going to fix that?" So Adam Pierce ended up saying that next week, they're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So he'll book Chelsea on the show. So Pierce then ended up saying that he has bad connection, and he hung up on Chelsea Green. So pretty much that was that. So then we had Pierce end up walking by the Alpha Academy, and they were trying to model backstage, both Otis and Chad Gable. Chad Gable ended up saying that he doesn't get what the maximum male models aren't seeing in him. So Bronson Reed ended up saying that Chad Gable can get ready to model a full body cast when he's through with him. So Otis ended up saying to Bronson Reed that no one talks to Master Gable like that. So Bronson Reed ended up walking off, and that was basically that. And then we had Ding Dong Hello with Bayley, and her guests were her girls, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Io Sky and Dakota Kai. So the doorbell ended up ringing. Bayley ended up stepping through the door to host Ding Dong Hello. So Dakota Kai and Io Sky, they were already in the ring. Dakota Kai still had a crutch on her. So Bayley ended up insulting the crowd because the crowd was booing at her. Bayley ended up saying that she could be sulking over not being in the Elimination Chamber match, but she's here. She ended up saying that since it's family day in Canada, she decided to spend some time with her family. She ended up saying that these idiots don't love damage control the way she does, and that they're underappreciated. So Bayley ended up asking Dakota Kai how it feels to be the greatest WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of all time. So Dakota Kai ended up saying, "That's an amazing question, but they wouldn't be here without Bayley guiding the way." Dakota Kai ended up saying that because of Bayley, they've been able to dominate the women's division as tag champs for over 100 days. She ended up saying that they've been the likes of Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and the man, Becky Lynch, and that they'll continue dominating. So Becky Lynch ended up coming out. Becky Lynch walked out to the stage, got a big ovation from the fans. So Becky got on the mic. She ended up saying that it's been 9 full moon cycles since Dakota Kai and Io Sky defended the titles. She ended up saying that they aren't going to sit on those titles and coast to WrestleMania. Becky Lynch ended up saying that she wants to take those tag team titles into WrestleMania. So Bayley ended up chuckling. She ended up saying that Becky is a jokester. She was like, who will Becky team with? Ro, her daughter? She ended up saying that Becky has no friends. So Becky ended up saying that there's one person she was thinking of. So then we had Lita end up walking out. Lita then ended up walking out to stand alongside Becky Lynch. They got into the ring. Becky ended up shouting that they never used the door to get on her show. So Becky Lynch and Lita end up coming through the door. Bayley ended up saying that Lita doesn't even work here, and that Becky must be really desperate to bring in Lita. So we had the crowd started chanting Lita. Bayley ended up saying that the last time they were in the ring together, they tried to end each other. Becky ended up saying that she already apologized to Lita. Lita got on the mic. She ended up saying that she likes weird and cute, but they're past that. So Lita ended up saying that she had her sights set on a 5th title run, but if she can't get that title against Becky, she likes the plan of walking into WrestleMania as the tag team champions. So Bayley ended up saying that they are not even close to earning a match against them. Becky ended up saying that Lita is a Hall of Famer and a 4-time women's champion, and that they're both the greatest to ever do it, and that's enough. Lita ended up saying that if they're the greatest tag team champions, they should want to prove it. So Lita ended up wondering if Dakota Kai and Io Sky are scared. Becky Lynch ended up asking if they're scared. So Bayley ended up shouting that they accept. So this is a challenge for a tag team title match. So Bayley ended up shouting that Dakota Kai and Io Sky accept. And Dakota and Io didn't look happy about that. So Becky Lynch and Lita end up ripping the titles from Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And both Becky and Lita held up the titles. So both Becky and Lita then end up throwing the titles back at Dakota and Io. And pretty much that was basically that. But from what I heard, Trish Stratus was supposed to appear on Monday Night Raw tonight. But that didn't happen. And I have the article here, courtesy of Ringside News here. So this is the article right here. They canceled Trish Stratus' return on Raw tonight. Okay, so this is courtesy of Ringside News here. WWE canceled big return on Raw this week. It says right here, according to a report from Fightful Paywall, Trish Stratus was at Raw this week, and they planned for her to appear on the show. The Ding Dong Hello segment was going to see her return to WWE television in Canada because, of course, obviously, Trish is from Canada. But Trish left before that segment even started. It was not expanded upon as to what went down, but the standard plans changed excuse was given. It says Trish Stratus was set to return during the Ding Dong Hello segment with Bayley, but it didn't end up happening. Instead, Lita and Becky Lynch showed up and made a challenge for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Details are few so far, but it was confirmed to us that Trish Stratus was the original plan. In fact, Trish Stratus physically was at the show in Ottawa, but left before the segment happened. When we were asked what ended up happening, we were simply told a creative change, which we'll dig more about. So Trish Stratus was there at Raw, but she left because of a so-called creative change. There was talks about her appearing on Raw last week in Brooklyn, but unfortunately that didn't end up happening. But it says right here, Lita and Bayley have a big title match next week, so it's very, very possible that Trish Stratus could return then. Well, we'll see if that happens next week. Will we see Trish Stratus return next week? Who knows? So just wanted to show that article there. Will Trish Stratus end up appearing on Raw next week? Who knows? Then we have Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton was backstage with Candice LeRae. Byron Saxton ended up asking Candice LeRae if she has an update on her husband, Johnny Gargano, from the Elimination Chamber. Candice ended up saying to Byron Saxton that Johnny got banged up. So she ended up running off, and she ended up seeing Nikki Cross, because Nikki Cross has been spying on Candice LeRae. If you know on social media, Nikki Cross has been taking pictures of Candice LeRae, without her knowing, sneaking up on her. So Candice LeRae ended up saying that Nikki Cross has been following her for months. And Candice ended up saying, why? Nikki Cross didn't answer. Candice LeRae ended up saying that she has a match against Piper Niven next week, and that she can't worry about Nikki. So Nikki Cross ended up mumbling something to Candice, and she walked off. Byron Saxton ended up asking Candice what Nikki Cross said. Candice ended up saying that Nikki Cross told her all her friends are gone and that she's alone. And pretty much that was basically that. Candice ended up saying that Johnny is fine. So pretty much that was that. And then we had Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. And this was pretty much a squash match. You know, Bronson Reed is great in the ring. He is just a beast. So the match started. Chad Gable ended up quickly hooking a side headlock on Reed. Reed easily whipped Chad Gable off. He ended up hitting the avalanche to take Chad Gable down. Gable rolled out of the ring. Bronson Reed came off the apron with a diving shoulder tackle, which looked great. Reed ended up going face-to-face with Otis. He ended up putting Gable in the ring. Bronson Reed ended up attacking. Chad Gable ended up throwing him down. So Bronson Reed ended up whipping Chad Gable into the corner. He ended up going to the second rope. Bronson Reed ended up jumping, but Gable ended up clipping Bronson Reed's leg, and he applied the ankle lock. Bronson Reed ended up kicking Chad Gable off. Chad Gable started punching and chopping away at Bronson Reed. Chad Gable ended up flipping through a back suplex, and he ended up going for a German suplex. Reed ended up fighting it, so Chad Gable ended up taking Bronson Reed down with a clothesline. Chad Gable ended up going up to the top rope and delivered a diving headbutt to Bronson Reed. He ended up going for the cover, and Bronson Reed ended up kicking out. So Chad Gable ended up hitting the ropes, and Bronson Reed ended up clotheslining Chad Gable down. So then we saw Maxine Dupree end up appearing at ringside. So Otis ended up noticing Maxine. Chad Gable ended up getting out of a powerbomb. He ended up hitting Bronson Reed with a Bridget German suplex, to which Bronson Reed ended up kicking out. So Otis then ended up going over to Maxine. Chad Gable ended up shouting to Otis to attack Bronson Reed at ringside, but Otis was too distracted at Maxine, because Maxine ended up giving Otis a card. He gets to join the Maximum Male Models. So Bronson Reed ended up avalanching Chad Gable from behind, ended up hitting a snap power slam, and then Bronson Reed ended up going up to the top, and he delivered the tsunami on Chad Gable. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Bronson Reed ended up winning the match. Post-match, Otis took the card from Maxine Dupree, and she ended up walking off. Otis then ended up turning, and he noticed that Chad Gable lost the match. Otis then looked surprised, and he checked on Chad Gable, but Otis couldn't stop looking at the card that Maxine ended up giving him. So pretty much that was that. But really, we're going to have Otis possibly join the Maximum Male Models. Are you kidding me? Awful. But overall, squash match this was. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Elias was in the ring. Great. I want to see Elias on my TV. So Elias ended up saying that he hopes Rick Boogs is taking notes. He ended up saying that this is the time of the year when legends come out and stars are made. He ended up saying that there is no bigger star than him. So Rick Boogs was showing the back, taking notes, and he ended up saying that the question that has to be on everyone's mind right now is this: who wants to walk with Elias at WrestleMania? Well, like, who wants to change the channel at WrestleMania? So he ended up saying that there's got to be someone that wants to stand center stage on the grandest stage with the grandest of them all. So then the almighty Bobby Lashley ended up coming out. He made his way down to the ring. Lashley got into the ring, and he crushed Elias with a one-arm spine buster, to which Elias then rolled out of the ring. Lashley ended up grabbing Elias at ringside, sending him into the barricade. Lashley then lifted Elias up, and he drove Elias headfirst into the ring post. Lashley ended up getting Elias in the ring, ended up delivering a spear to him. So Lashley sized Elias up, and he applied the Hurt Lock on Elias. Elias ended up tapping out, but it wasn't even a match. So Elias ended up throwing, Bobby Lashley ended up throwing Elias out of the ring. And then we had Bobby Lashley get on the mic. He ended up saying, everybody has a plan until he slaps the Hurt Lock on. He ended up saying that this past weekend, he put Brock Lesnar in the Hurt Lock. He ended up saying that Lesnar panicked and had to resort to a low blow. And he ended up saying, not Brock Lesnar, not Bray Wyatt, not Elias, nobody in that locker room breaks the Hurt Lock. So Bobby Lashley ended up saying that he will not be disrespected by anyone in the locker room. He ended up saying that if you disrespect him, he'll put you down. Bobby Lashley then threw the mic down and started pacing in the ring, and pretty much that was that. This was a waste of time. This was an absolute waste of time. Awful, this was. So then they made the match official. So next week on Raw, it's going to be Becky Lynch and Lita versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the Women's Tag Team Championship. We'll also see Candice LeRae versus Piper Niven. We'll also find out if Brock Lesnar will accept Omos's WrestleMania challenge. Which, that's a fucking joke. That's a joke of a match at WrestleMania. That's not a WrestleMania-worthy match. So then Asuka will also take on Carmela. And there will be a WrestleMania edition of Miz TV. Great, so I can change the channel when that's on. So that's all we're going to see on Monday Night Raw next week from Grand Rapids. So then we saw Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton was backstage with Edge. Byron Saxton congratulated Edge on his win at Elimination Chamber. And he ended up asking Edge, how is he feeling just moments away from his United States Championship match? Edge ended up saying to Byron Saxton that the Judgment Day is in the rearview mirror. He ended up saying that Beth is back home with the girls, and he can get back to his goals. He ended up saying youth comes with ignorance, and that nothing lasts forever. Edge ended up saying that with age comes wisdom, more than anyone else in the locker room. Edge ended up saying that he knows how all of this can be taken away. He ended up saying that he will smack the duck face off his overly manscaped head tonight. Edge ended up saying that he hasn't held a title in a long time, and that window is closing more and more every day. He ended up saying that his second match in this company was here in 1997. He ended up saying that he hasn't performed here in 18 years. And so Edge ended up saying that it'll feel damn good to win it here and walk into WrestleMania as the United States Champion. He was like, never say never. So pretty much that was basically what Edge had to say. So then we went to the main event. Austin Theory versus Edge for the United States Championship. This was a good match here. So Austin Theory and Edge started circling the ring. Both guys end up locking up. Edge ended up catching Austin Theory with a takedown. So they ended up circling the ring, locked up again. So Austin Theory ended up applying a side headlock. Edge whipped Austin Theory off, and he ended up leapfrogging Austin Theory twice, and he ended up sweeping Austin Theory's feet. Edge ended up pulling Austin Theory out of the ring, ended up hitting a wheelbarrow flapjack on the floor. Edge ended up getting Theory into the ring and applied a side headlock. Theory ended up whipping Edge off, and he ended up going for a leapfrog, but Edge ended up pulling the ropes, ended up hitting a side leg sweep to Austin Theory, to which he ended up going for the cover. Theory ended up kicking out. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Edge ended up applying the armbar. Theory ended up fighting up, ended up whipping Edge, but Edge ended up rolling out of the ring. So Theory ended up chasing Edge around ringside. Edge ended up catching Theory with a back body drop on the floor. Edge ended up going to the apron, ended up hitting a diving clothesline to Theory. Edge ended up getting Theory in the ring, ended up going for the cover, and Theory ended up kicking out. Edge then applied a side headlock. Theory ended up fighting out of it, ended up clotheslining Edge. So later on in the match, we had Edge end up getting to his feet, and Finn Balor end up running down. Edge ended up punching Balor off the apron. Edge ended up rolling Theory up, and Theory ended up kicking out. Edge was then knocked into the ropes. Balor ended up kicking Edge in the face. So Theory ended up following up with the A-Town down. So he ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Austin Theory ended up winning the match, retaining the United States Championship. Post-match, Balor immediately got into the ring. He started stomping away at Edge. Balor ended up sending up Edge, ended up hitting the coup de grace. Balor ended up warning Edge that this is not over, and that's just the beginning. Balor ended up going up to the top rope, hit a second coup de grace onto Edge, and then Balor ended up going up to the top rope again. He hit a third coup de grace to Edge, and pretty much that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, this was a good match between Austin Theory and Edge for the United States Championship. But overall, Monday Night Raw, awful show tonight. Terrible. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. There will be no Dynamite review on Wednesday because I'll be working late, so don't expect the Dynamite review. But till then, see you all later.